Hey, hi guys, it's Melissa. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be about shea butter. In my review of hair moisturizers video, I spoke to you guys about the fact that I had started using shea butter and I had made a shea butter mix, and I had done it without using a hand mixer. So today's video is just going to show you guys how I did that. This is the shea butter. Now I used about half of this to make my first batch of shea butter mix. So this, I approximate, is probably like about 4 ounces or maybe a little bit more than 4 ounces of shea butter. Alright, so stay tuned and I'll show you guys how it's done. Alright, so basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with some water here that I boiled. So basically you want to use purified water. If you have access to distilled water, that'll be fine, but I don't have access to distilled water. So what I basically did was I brought some water to boiling point, and I put it in this teacup here just to cool off. Okay, so step 2. This is what I have here. I have a pot of water and I have a saucepan on top of, as you can see, that, right, I'm sure you guys could see better there. That's on top of that water that is heating underneath. Basically, I believe that this is the part of the process that prevents the shea butter from coming back to that solid state afterwards. Notice that I'm not adding direct heat to the shea butter. I am using indirect heat because adding direct heat, based on some of the research that I've done in terms of reading online and stuff like that, it's said that adding the direct heat kills the nutrients of the shea butter. So it's not advisable to melt it with the fire directly under the saucepan or to put it in a microwave. So basically what I am going to do is I'm just going to add the shea butter into the saucepan that is heating there, and I'm going to bring it. I'm not going to melt the shea butter totally. What I'm going to do basically is bring it to the point where it is soft enough to use the spoon to cream it. So the process happens pretty fast. I mean, the water is not even boiling as yet and it's getting melted, and it's starting to melt. So as you would see here, I'm going to take off the stove now. The shea butter, some of it will melt, right? But you're seeing that there's still some solid pieces there, and I could use my spoon to more or less maneuver the shea butter. Okay guys, so next step, I have here a bowl, right? It's like an old container, and the shea butter that I melted, I'm now going to add it to the bowl. I'm going to let it all drain. Right? So from here now, as you can see, I can take this spoon and begin to work it through the shea butter. Now some chunks are going to be easier than others, but you just have to continue to use the spoon to break it down. And what you want to do is, in the end, you want to have it broken down, to the point where you don't want to see any lumps in the shea butter. Okay, now it's kind of partially creamed, so I'm gonna add some water. This is the water that I had left to cool, that I showed you guys earlier. I'm gonna add a little bit of it, right? just a little bit, and I'm just going to mix it in, and as you'll see, it's getting softer and creamy. Alright, so I actually ended up adding a little bit more water, and as you can see, this is the consistency, and this doesn't take very long. This took probably about a little under 5 minutes, right? This is the consistency of it. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to add some oil to this mix here. A tablespoon of grapeseed oil, a tablespoon of castor oil, a tablespoon of olive oil, and for the peppermint oil, I'm just gonna add a few drops. Right, and I'm just going to mix. I'm just going to mix that into the mixture and just continue with the creaming process, just mixing it up together to take out any little lumps that you might see, and you're even seeing like air bubbles. I don't know if you guys could see in the camera, but I'm actually seeing air bubbles in this mixture. That's to tell you how light and soft the mixture turns out. Right, so this is the shea butter mix that is all done, and this doesn't take long at all, you guys. This took me probably like about 15-20 minutes tops for this entire process. Okay, so this is the final result of the shea butter. As you can see, it's pretty soft. It's now done, so basically I'm going to leave it let it settle, and I'll come back to show you guys what the final consistency of it is, because even though this shea butter doesn't go back to the full solid state that it was before, it does get a little thicker in it. So I will come back to show you guys what it looks like later. Alright guys, so I'm here to show you guys the final product. It's like about, let's say maybe about 6 hours later. I made this like just before lunch, and the time now is like about 6 o'clock. Yeah, so I'm just here to show you guys the consistency of it. Now I kind of played up in it a little bit, but as you guys could see, it's still soft. It has gotten a little bit more, the texture has thickened up a little bit from when I first put it in the container, but it's more or less now settled, and it would stay at this consistency for the rest of the time that I'm using this. So that's basically it. I hope that this video was helpful. Don't forget to leave your comments, questions, and to subscribe. Until my next video, bye guys.